And I go, oh my God, you will never fucking believe this, but Johnny Depp wants to be in Tusk. And my wife goes, you bothered the Depps with this walrus bullshit? She goes, Kevin, we gotta see him at school. I said, I did, but he said he wants to do it. He likes it. He wants to play Guy Lapointe. She goes, you're kidding. I said, yeah, I'm not kidding. He fucking wants to do it. She goes, all right, well, call Sam Engelbart, man, because he wants to know who's going to play Guy Lapointe. I was like, you're right. I'd left Sam hanging. And I called up Sam Engelbart, and I was like, hey, man, what's up? He goes, Kevin, what the fuck, man? You got to give me your second choice for Guy Lapointe. If it's not going to be Quentin Tarantino, who's your second choice to play Guy Lapointe? And I said, I give a long beat, and I go, Johnny Depp. And there's a long minute of silence. And then Sam goes, Kevin, I know smoking weed has taken us this far. I said, no, you don't get it. I said, our kids have been friends for years and stuff. I hit him up, I asked him, sent him the script. He said he loves it. He said he'd like to do it, remind him of Edward Scissorhands. And he goes, Jesus Christ, we gotta send him a fucking contract right now. I was like, don't do that. Don't paper this man. Do not send a contract to him. He goes, why? I was like, because if you send a contract, it ain't going to him. It's going to go to his agent, Tracy Jacobs. Tracy Jacobs is one of the sharpest fucking tools in the shed, man. Like, she is smart, level-headed. There's no room for someone like that in these proceedings. I said, he told me he's going to do it, so I was just taking him at his word and shit. And so Sam Engelbart was like, all right, let's take the lead. And we did. Shot Tusk without him. And then fucking when he was free, when he was done with Alice in Wonderland 2, I got a phone call from him. He's like, bonjour, I'm ready to swim with the walrus. And I was like, oh my God, dude, I thought you were a figment of my stoner imagination, man. You're real? And he goes, yeah, I can't wait to do this and shit. So we made the date, he came out, we shot for 2 days. And the first day it was like amazing. Like when I got there, he'd asked me, the only thing he asked for, he wasn't getting paid and shit. He said, I said, is there anything we could do? Anything we could add that's gonna make it better for you? He goes, can you bring my makeup artist on? You pay for my makeup artist? And I was like, yeah, I could totally do that. Who is it? He goes, Joel Harlow. He does me on all the pirate movies. And I was like, yeah, totally, absolutely, bring him. So we brought on his makeup artist. The day we started shooting with him, one of the interns was like, Mr. Depp wants to see you in his trailer. And I was like, Johnny brought his dad to set? That's amazing. And they were like, that's fucking Johnny, dude. And I was like, oh shit. And so I went to the trailer, knocked on the door and shit. He was like, come in. I got inside the trailer. He turned around in the chair and had a big rubber nose on. If you've not seen Tusk, or as you'll see in Yogo's, he's got this long rubber nose. And I had no idea that's what he meant by makeup. So I was like, oh my God, look at you, you're wearing prosthetics and shit. And he's showing it off like Cyrano, going like this. And he goes, what do you think? And I was like, what do I think? Jesus, man, I think you overthought this shit, I'll be honest with you. I was like, you didn't have to go through all this trouble. Oh my God, you're already here and stuff. You didn't have to go put makeup on. Shit, man, you could have phoned this one in. Like literally, you could have called the phone. We would have shot that phone. And then people would have been like, I can't believe you got Johnny Depp to call into your movie. And he's showing it off, he goes, no, what do you think? Doesn't it look like a dick? And I was like, oh my God, it does kind of look like a fucking dick. It does. It's long with the bulbous head. He goes, look at the cut right here on the tip. That's the dick hole. I said, boy, you guys thought of everything. And he goes, would you mind? And I said, would I mind what? He goes, well, me and Joel were talking about painting a blue vein down the side. I said, you trying to tell me you want to wear a dick on your face in this movie? I said, if you ever wanted to wear a dick on your face in a movie, Tusk is the fucking movie to do it, man. Let's do it. So we shot all day long. It was wonderful. Had a fucking blast. Got him out early and stuff because we shot with him the next day. When we were done early, he was like, we're finished? I was like, yeah, we shot fucking 20 pages. 20 pages, 3 scenes in like, I guess it was about 7 hours. He goes, Christ. He goes, you know how long it takes to shoot one scene in a Pirates movie? I said, I don't know how long. He goes, well, we know the one scene where I'm running on top of a fucking wheel? I said, yeah. He goes, 5 months for that sequence. And I was like, yeah, but let's be fair, man. Those movies make a lot more money than this fucking movie ever will. And he goes, oh, I know. So he went home and fucking, I was beside myself. I was like, this is amazing. And I went home and my kid, Harley, like, you know, she's been friends with Lily forever. Her relationship with Johnny is different. She knows he's like, oh, he's the world's greatest actor, but she'd been growing up there since she was a kid. She thinks of Depp as the guy who makes the world's greatest pancakes, because when she sleeps over, that's what he does in the morning, makes some pancakes. And for years, since the kid was fucking 5, she'd be coming back to the house going like, why can't you make pancakes as good as Johnny Depp? And I'm like, I can't fucking do anything as good as Johnny Depp. Go to your room. So I came home from work, man, and the first person I saw was the kid. And I was like, oh my God, kiddo, what a great day I had. It was amazing. She goes, why, did he make pancakes? I was like, no, he didn't fucking make pancakes. I was like, he acted. He was fucking great. And you get to act with him tomorrow. She was going to play a little kid in the convenience store in one of the scenes. And she goes, well, Lily Rose is coming to watch. Johnny's daughter, her friend. Lily Rose is coming to watch us. I said, really? She goes, yeah, she thinks it's so weird that like she's known her dad her whole life. She's known me almost her whole life. She never thought we'd act opposite one another. She wants to see what that would look like. And I was like, well, that's a shame. She goes, why? And I was like, yeah, it's fucking fun to watch people act. It's way more fucking fun to do the acting yourself, man. So why don't you ask her if she wants to be in the movie? She can stand next to you and fucking take half your lines. You guys can both talk to each other. And she goes, well, her parents like don't put her in movies. They're not like you. They don't make their kids work. I said, well, you ask her if she wants to, and if she's into it, I'll ask her parents. And so she asked Lily Rose, and she was like, yeah, oh my God, that sounds fun. So I hit Vanessa up first. I was like, Lily Rose is going to be on set tomorrow. Can I stick her in the movie? She goes, if Johnny's okay with it. So I wrote Johnny an email, and I was like, hey man, great day today. Looking forward to tomorrow. Have this idea. Lily Rose coming to watch Harley and you act. Why don't we just put her in the scene, man? Because, you know, that'd be weird to see our 2 kids behind the counter at convenience store. Let's be honest, we're never going to see them work for a living, so this would be our best chance to see what that would look like and stuff. And he never responded, so when I went in the next day, they were like, Johnny wants to see you. I went to his trailer and he was like, Kevin, I just got your email. And I was like, oh, don't worry about that shit. Did I write like all my stupidest fucking worst idea emails when I'm stoned? And that's when I did that one. I mean, you're fucking living in one of them right now. And he goes, no. And he's going like, I read it and I was really touched. He's going, I never thought in a million years that I would ever act with my kid. That wasn't in the cards, but like what you're saying is I can. So I think that'd be a missed opportunity if we didn't do it. So if it's possible, can we still do that? And I was like, we can do anything, man. This is the arts. So we did the fucking shit that all responsible parents do. We went to a movie set, went to school, yanked our kids out of school, and brought them to a movie set, and threw them in a trailer and gave them some dialogue, said, learn this shit. And then we went and shot the rest of the scenes, and they were the last thing we shot that day. And so, you know, you go bring everybody on set. It's Harley and Lily, it's Johnny, it's Haley Joel Osment, it's Genesis Rodriguez. And it was like a magical day. I've been making movies at that point for like 20 years, man. I never saw this coming. Never imagined I'd be there with my kid, acting with her best friend, acting with like one of the world's greatest actors. It was amazing. Like 2 girls are sitting on one side of the counter, and me and Johnny are standing on the other side of the counter, and I'm directing my kid, and he's directing his kid. And then my kid stops listening to me and starts listening to him. Which makes sense because he's a good fucking actor and shit. And then all of a sudden we went for it. I was like, all right, let's go for a take. Actually, my wife was sitting next to me. We were on the monitor watching him shoot it and stuff. And the whole time I'm just elbowing my wife going, see that one actress? That actress came out of my balls. She was like, I helped. I was like, I remember. So it was fun, man. We shot. It was like one of the greatest days of my life. Like, had a blast. The girls were incredibly fucking natural. That was the thing I was most affected by at the end of the day. I was like, wow, they sounded like real kids and shit. So at the end of the shoot, I was sitting in the back of the room. You know, everyone was done. That was the end of the movie, was the Harley and Lily scene. And so I was sitting in the back of the room doing like kind of mental snapshot of the whole evening, like, Jesus fucking Christ, man, I can't believe how far we came. This was a podcast, you know, where I just sat around with my friend talking about, wouldn't it be fucked up if we make a movie about a guy who turns the other guy into a walrus? 6 months from the moment we recorded that podcast, I was on a movie set looking at Justin Long covered in rubber, going action, and he was like, so it was fucking fast. That's the fastest I've ever put a movie together in my life. So, you know, I was sitting in the back of the room looking, going, wow, this is fucked up, this is wonderful. I pushed Whimsy right into like conclusion, we're done and shit. And Johnny Depp sidles up to me in the back of the room, and he's like, hey, did you see those two girls? I said, yeah. He goes, did you see them act? And I was like, that's kind of my job here, yeah. I watch everybody act. And he goes, how natural were they? I was like, they were really natural. He goes, they were crazy natural, man. He's going, if you and me had any smarts, we'd both retire and live off these girls. And I was like, well, one of us can retire because one of us owns an island. And he was like, dude, I had a blast doing this, man. Like, anytime you want me to come back, play this fucking character for you, I will do it. And I was like, you don't do that. You don't sequelize yourself unless they give you 20 million bucks or something like that. And he goes, this I would do again. I said, why? He goes, because I love doing this voice. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah, but everyone in my life hates me doing this voice. They're so fucking sick of it. He's going, but you fucking love it. So I'm begging you, make another one of these so I can do it again. And even if you never make another movie with Gila Points in it, you can just call me in the middle of the night and I'll talk like Gila Points. He's like, all right. And then he was off, and that was it. So I edited the rest of the movie together with that new footage, man, in which all the Johnny stuff and the girl scene. And the thing that I loved the most in the entire movie was the girl scene. I would show it to everybody. Anybody that came in the fucking house would be like, look at this. And fucking showed my wife so many times that she was like, look, that's my daughter, and she came out of my body, and I love her, but I never want to see this shit again. And I was like, why do I love this so much? Why am I so obsessed with this scene, man? The two girls sitting there behind the camera, like, what is it? Is it because they're wearing fucking smocks, and those smocks look like hockey jerseys, kind of? Or is it because they're doing bad fake Canadian accents, going to loot and shit like that? Or is it because, like, all they do is look at their phones, look up, say shitty things, look back at their phones, and that's all she does anyway, every day? Like, I said, why do I like this scene so much? And my wife was like, Kevin, you're so fucking stupid. You're so close, you can't see it. It's two people standing behind a fucking convenience store counter. And I was like, oh God, you're right, it's Girl Clerks, isn't it? I said, but I think I can make that movie. She's like, you already made that movie with boys. I was like, I know, but I think I'd like to make it with fucking girls. I've been taking my kids to the movie her whole life, man. Like, my dad used to take me to the movies when I was a kid, fed my habit, grew me up to be a filmmaker one day. He was never like, you could be a filmmaker. My father wasn't a real believer in shit like that. My father's the kind of guy who's like, see that mountain? Never climb it. But he took me to the movies and he fed that urge and shit. And one day I was like, hey, maybe I could do this shit. So with my kid, you know, you try to get it a little bit better as a parent and stuff. So I started taking her to the movies all right away from childhood. The first movie I took her to was Fight Club. She was in a bassinet. So, you know, I've been taking her to movies her whole life and stuff, and like, it's Batman and Spider-Man and Iron Man and Superman and shit. And it's never girl anything, you know? And like, inclusion's important. People need to see themselves fucking represented. Every time we walk out of one of those movies, my wife's like, same for her. None of these stories are fucking her. How come they don't make a movie about girls and shit like that? And so that penetrated for years and years and years, man. And suddenly I was looking at this movie going, ooh, I could do it. Like, instead of bitching about what's missing in life, like, try to fill that void yourself. And I was like, all right, I can like make a movie about fucking two teenage girls. I can make a movie that I've always wanted to make. I'll make the movie that I wanted to see back when I was a teenage girl. And it just took to become a 45-year-old man to do it instead. So Jennifer's like, well, you better ask the Depps, man, you know, because her kid, their kid's the other half of it. And I was like, all right. And I asked Vanessa first, you know, I showed her all the footage from Tusk, and I was like, hey man, I was thinking about writing a movie just for the girls, because they're so crazy natural. She's like, they are natural. She's going, but you would never do that. You wouldn't write a whole movie for the girls. I was like, I already did. And I gave her the script. To yoga hosers. I was like, this is it. And she liked the script. She was like, man, if Johnny wants to do this, like, I'm in. And I was like, I don't know if that'll be a problem. So I texted him. I was like, hey man, you around? My phone rang and said JD, and I answered the phone, but it wasn't Johnny Depp. It was Gila Points. And he started doing the monologue from Tusk at me, man. And my dick was getting harder and harder. Like, oh my words, his mouth. So when he finished, I was like, I can't fucking believe you remembered. He goes, dude, I fucking irritate everybody in my world with this voice. You're the only person that wants to hear it. I'm so glad you called. What's up? And I was like, wow, this is gonna be a fortuitous fucking phone call. I said, I've been thinking about making a movie with the girls. He goes, what do you mean? I was like, you know, the characters that they played in the convenience store. Doing a whole movie where you just follow the girls. He goes, really? I said, yeah. And I was thinking maybe about bringing back Gila. And he goes, I'm in! And I go, don't fucking say you're in? Yeah, you gotta hear about it. He goes, Jesus, Kevin, I said yes to the Walrus movie. He goes, what's it about? And I was like, the two girls, they fight like monsters come out of the earth. 1 foot tall Canadian Nazis made of bratwurst. We call them Bratzies. And he goes, Jesus Christ, I already said yes, you don't have to gild the fucking lily, man. And so 4 months after I wrote the first draft of Yoga Hosers, 4 months, it was even quicker than Tusk, we were in production. Suddenly we were making the movie and shit. And I know that's not me. I know that's not like, I'm powerful and smart and good. No. That was me walking into the financier's office and being like, hey, I would like $4 million to make a movie with 2 little girls who've never really acted before. And they're gonna fight Nazi sausages that come up out of the ground. Oh, by the way, Johnny Depp is here too. And they were like, take the fucking money. And suddenly we were off to the fucking races, so we made Yoga Hosers. Now, this movie went to Sundance and stuff, and we had 5 great screenings, but we also had shit fucking tacular reviews, man. Critics bent the movie over and were like, and some of them didn't even spit first. So, I'm okay with that. I get it. I'm making weird movies at this point in my career. Believe me, I don't expect everyone to go along with the ride with me and stuff. In fact, like, for the first time in my career, I don't get defensive about people not liking fucking the shit I do. Used to, because all those movies, the early ones, were based on my actual life. Clerks is not a fictional film, that's my life with different names and shit. I worked at that store, that was my life. Mall Rats is like what me and my friends used to do at the mall when we were kids. Chasing Amy, I was going out with Joey Adams, that was our relationship. She wasn't a lesbian, but I had a big hard time with her past and shit. Dogma, well that didn't happen to me, but I was an altar boy for 12 years, and every time the priest said, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, I'd giggle, so you know. All that shit came from reality. Now I'm just making movies that don't come from my personal life. Like Tusk did not happen to me. Neither did Yoga Hosers. So people can come up to me and say anything in it, but like I'm affected kind of the same way. So people have come up to me about Tusk and they're like, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen. I'm like, isn't it? And then people come up to me and be like, this is the worst piece of shit ever made. I'm like, isn't it? So proof positive of this was the first night of the tour, we were in New Orleans, man, and we had a screening of the flick, and I told the folks, just like I told you now, like, fucking, you like it, fantastic. If you don't, I fucking get it, man. It's a weird bridge to ask people to walk across. And after the screening, we were doing Q&A, and a bunch of people liked the movie, and then there was one guy, and you could feel the energy coming off him in line. He was just seething, and he gets up to the mic, and I was like, what can I do for you? And he goes, you were saying before the screening that like there would be some people that like the movie and some people that don't like the movie. I said, yeah. He goes, I'm in the latter group. And I was like, oh, you didn't like the movie? He goes, no, not at all. He goes, I think it was objectively terrible. And I was like, well, okay, that works for me. Like I said before, you know, some people will like it, some people won't. He goes, yeah, why did you do this? And I was like, well, like, not for nothing, but why I did it, like, is because I wanted to make it and stuff. It's not a good enough reason not to make it just because you didn't think I should make it. Like, I'm granted, I understand you don't like it and stuff. This is not the first time I've been confronted by somebody who's like, I fucking hate you and everything you do. So I'm not worried about that. I was like, but you know, at the end of the day, saying I shouldn't have made it is ridiculous. It may not be for you, but all these other people like it, and they were all like, ah, shit. And there were people in line that were like, let's kick his ass. Like people started to get like a fucking Trump rally. And I was like, no. I was like, this guy paid his money, he's allowed his opinion, man. He paid his money, took his chances. He paid more money to see this movie than he would have if he went to a multiplex. So I'm not gonna begrudge him his opinion. He can totally fucking say it and stuff. So, you know, he was more mad, he kept his mad on and stuff. But it became clear that he was never gonna be satisfied by any answer I gave. So I was like, dude, here, man, I don't want this to go down poorly, man. I want you to have a good time tonight. Clearly you didn't and stuff, so I can't give you your time back, but here. And I had $40 in my pocket. I was like, I'll give you your $40 back. So if you hate it that much, take it. And he wouldn't fucking take the money. He just wanted to hate the movie. It was worth $40 for him to be like, I'm gonna let it live here.